Hey there, welcome to another edition of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. I am your host, Pete Pardo, publisher and CEO of SOT. Today is Tuesday morning, June the 27th. Summer's here, folks. As you can see, I'm trying to get a little bit of a tan here. Here in the early part of the summer, we're finally getting some warm weather here in New York, and been able to hit the pool and do some outdoorsy type things. So, and with that, of course, got to have good music to go along with the summer, and there's been plenty of good new releases coming out lately, so we're going to hop right into it. So today, our featured CD of the day is this brand new concept album from veteran, I call him classic band, but from Chicago. The band is called Styx. This is their first album in like 14 years, first studio album in 14 years. It's called The Mission. That's the bad boy right there. See that? Here we go. This is basically a throwback to kind of a lot of their classic albums from like the late 70s, early 80s. So, think probably Crystal Ball through Grand Illusion, Pieces of Eight, Cornerstone, and Paradise Theater. Because it's a concept album, it's got kind of like that cinematic feel that draws a little bit from the Paradise Theater albums, but, got some of that proggy / hard rock / AOR / pop rock feel of those early albums. So, is it a full-blown prog album? No, but you know what? I don't think Styx ever really did a full-blown prog album. They were never really a prog band. They were more like just a good hard rock band that used elements of pop and prog to kind of create their sound. But, this has got it's basically the same lineup that Styx has been touring with for the last, decade or so. Tommy Shaw, James Young, Lawrence Gowen, Zuckerman on drums, Ricky Phillips on bass, Mr. Pinozo also helping out on bass as well. A bunch of tunes. It's only about 42 minutes long, but it's a concept album about a mission to Mars. And, a lot of the elements you like from Styx, those multi-part vocal harmonies, great lead vocals from, Shaw and Gowen, even a little bit from JY. Great guitar work, lots of keyboards. You got some anthems, you got some more pop stuff, you got some kind of proggy acoustic stuff, you got some full-blown symphonic theatrical things. It's just really, really good. I dig it a lot. This is easily the best Styx studio album, in my opinion, since the Paradise Theater album. That's going back a long ways. And they've had a couple strong ones since then. But I dig this a lot. Really, really good. It's going to be ranking high up there in my favorites of the year. So, The Mission by Styx. All right, next we're going to go to a band that's been kind of, pretty damn popular on the kind of jam / blues rock scene for about like 20 years or so. Talking about Govt Mule, their latest is called Revolution Come, Revolution Go. It's a double disc set from Warren Haynes and Company. There they are right there. Look at Warren sporting the Flying V. All right, more pictures of the band. I dig this a lot. These guys pump out albums fairly regularly. They've got quite a few to their name. Some really, really great ones. And, what I like about this one, Warren's been doing a lot of solo stuff as well as other projects outside of Govt Mule. And I think some of those other influences he's kind of bringing to the table here. But, what you get on here is you get that tried and true hard and heavy blues rock that Govt Mule's always been known for. Some more funky type material, a little bit of R&B, a little bit of country flavored stuff, some straight blues as well as some jazz. So again, kind of a lot of these things that Warren's been doing on the side away from the Mule have been kind of infiltrating the band's music now too. And what's really kind of interesting too is, Warren's good buddy and longtime bandmate Greg Allman passed away recently. So there's even some like kind of almonds flavored stuff on here as well, which I kind of like. So overall, a very varied album, very enjoyable, great guitar work from Mr. Haynes as always, great vocals. You got a full CD, then a bonus disc of a couple other bonus tracks, as well as alternate versions of a few tunes and a live song. So very, very cool. I like it. Very mature, classy. It's Govt Mule, folks. So from there, we're going to shoot over to Great Britain for the latest release from a true musical treasure, a guy who's been a guitar icon, a guitar legend for, going on 50 years now. I'm talking about Robin Trower. Time and Emotion is his latest. Jesus, one of my favorite guitar players of all time. Huge influence on me. And, you know, Trower just never, he's just not going to surprise you with anything really different, but he just continually, year after year after year, just puts out, you know, studio albums that are just classy, saturated with great bluesy guitar work. You know, this one, one of the things I like about this new one, kind of like what I really dug about the Govt Mule, is the amount of variety on here. So you get your kind of slow blues numbers, you get your kind of funky rock stuff, you get a couple hard rock tunes. Some are more atmospheric, you know, where he kind of, you know, clicks on the univibe, a little bit of fuzz, a little bit of wah-wah, that kind of dreamy sound that that Hendrixy thing that he's always been known for. He handles the bulk of the lead vocals on here, you know, and he's been doing that for about the last decade or so. You know, I'm still not 100% sold on Trower as lead vocalist. You know, he doesn't have the best voice, but, you know, it kind of suits this music. But, you know, when you got used to Trower with Jimmy Dewar singing lead vocals back in the 70s and early 80s, that set the bar pretty damn high, right? So, you know, Trower is nowhere near there. I kind of get that he's wanting to do it himself after so many decades of having his bass player sing lead vocals. But, you know, I still don't think he has the strongest voice out there. But like I said, it kind of suits the music. So, and I think he sounds the best on this album that he has on any of the albums prior where he's been singing lead. So, you know, but I dig it. Guitar work is off the charts. It's just a really cool, varied album full of a lot of different styles and whatnot, and I really like it. And his guitar playing just gets better and better. I mean, like I said, a musical treasure. Time and Emotion, Robin Trower. Seek it out. All right, we're going to flip over to Century Media Records. This is just out a couple days ago. This is called Incorruptible from U.S. metal legends Iced Earth. You know, I've always liked this band. You know, they've gone through periods with changed singers and whatnot. You know, the glory days with Matt Barlow, then Ripper Owens for a while, and then Matt Barlow came back, and then Stu Block, formerly from Into Eternity, took over a number of years ago, and he's been with them now for, I believe this is the third album, studio album with them. So I really dig this one a lot. What I like about it is, you know, John Schaefer has kind of honed in on the songwriting style of those, like the Dark Saga and the Something Wicked albums, which in my mind, two of their best albums. And what I like about those albums so much is you got that like kind of hard and heavy, thrashy power metal stuff that they've always been known for, really heavy. But then they do these kind of heavy like ballads, and nobody does these kind of metal ballads like Iced Earth. You know, I mean, just the soulful vocals, raw emotion, but still potent and powerful, and more importantly, metal. Right, and there's a good mix of that stuff on here. You know, some epic sounding stuff. There's some anthems. There's some truly heavy stuff. It's just I dig it a lot. Let's look at that artwork. Gotta love the artwork on the Iced Earth album. So just out, like I said, last Friday, but digging it quite a bit, and I'm sure I'm going to be enjoying this all summer long. So make sure you check that out. All right, we're going to pop over to Frontiers Records, our buddies from Italy who, man, they've been riding high for a number of years now. They've just got so many great bands on their roster. The first one is by Jorn. It's called Life on Death Road. Here's that latest one there from the Norwegian vocalist supreme Jorn Landi. And we've got a different lineup for this particular album. Okay, this is kind of like a supergroup here of sorts. So we've got Jorn on vocals, obviously. We've got Matt Sinner. And I'm going to need my glasses, folks, because Alex Bayrott on guitars. Okay, both of those guys from Primal Fears, also from Voodoo Circle. And then on drums, we've got Francisco Giovina, also from Primal Fear, and then the extraordinary keyboard player Alexandro Del Vecchio, lending his keyboard support. He's played with a number of bands on the power and progressive metal scene. So it's basically kind of like a supergroup, and it's really good. Really, really good. So again, that classic hard rock and metal, little bits of power metal. But, you know, if you love vintage Dio and Whitesnake mixed with some Black Sabbath, and of course you got the Primal Fear thing coming in a little bit, you know, I think you're going to love this. Mr. Landy's vocals are off the charts. The songs are memorable, anthemic. The guitar work is just killer. You know, Bayrott's got this kind of like John Sykes meets Blackmore meets Schenker thing going on. So again, that kind of brings that 80s edge to it. It's just really, really strong. I dig it. I like all the Jorn albums, and this one is no exception. Okay, then we're going to go over to another. This is a kind of a new band, new project. It's called the Ferrymen. All right, that's it right there. This is, we've got Magnus Carlsen, guitar player, played with a number of bands. He's done some solo stuff. He's also in Primal Fear as well. And then we've got Ronnie Romero, who is the new vocalist for the new version of Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. Okay, he's got his own band as well on the side. And then Mike Tirana on drums. Played with Artention and all sorts of other people. You know, Mike's been around forever, great drummer. And so they put together this album, which, as you can imagine, think classic hard rock metal and a little bits of power metal, right? It's just great guitar work. I mean, Carlson's guitar work is off the charts, super crunchy, blazing leads. Romero's vocals, again, remind of classic Ronnie James Dio, right? It's one of the reasons why he was picked to join Rainbow. And incredible drumming from Tirana. Just, you know, again, just memorable songs, memorable riffs, great vocals. It's aggressive, it's heavy, it's melodic. Dig it a lot. The Ferrymen. Hopefully this is not one and done and they decide to do more. We'll see. But for now, we got the debut. It's great. All right, so we're going to go, we're shooting back to England now for a band that's been around like for a million years. They have forever been remembered and known as one of the pioneers of space rock and psychedelia. I'm talking about Hawkwind. Into the Woods is their latest from Dave Brock and Company. You know, it's typical Hawkwind. By what I do notice on this album, though, and again, this just came out recently, a little bit heavier, a little more rockin' than some past. You know, the last two Hawkwind albums have been very spacey, filled with lots of, you know, synths and space rock stuff and electronica and ambient. Great. This one is a lot more aggressive. There's some heavier tunes on here, which kind of remind us some of that early work that they did, as well as that early mid-'80s period that they went through. But again, it's just classic space rock. You know, it's just Hawkwind. You put it on, you instantly know it's Hawkwind. So you got the heavy guitar riffs and the loads of synths and the effects-laden vocals and, you know, the driving beats, all that kind of stuff. It's just, I dig it quite a bit. Really, really good. I'm just happy the Hawkwind is still around making new music. Gotta love that, you know. So, I'm going to shoot over to some video releases. We've got from our friends over at Eagle Rock, Eagle Vision. They go by both. This one is Heart Alive in Seattle. This is a concert they did back in their hometown of Seattle back in 2002, playing all the hits and a lot of then new tunes. I like the variety that's on here. It's kind of most of the classics you want to hear, and some really strong tunes that they did like in the throughout the 90s, as well as some brand new stuff that they did right around this time. This was before they started. They had been kind of inactive for quite a while before they got back into doing new albums again, which they did in the like mid-2000s. And of course, this is before all the bullshit that's going on between the Wilson sisters and the two families right now, and I won't even get into that, but, you know, Heart's on a little bit of a hiatus right now trying to deal with personal issues, so, but I dig it a lot. The camera work is great. It's DVD, it's not Blu-ray, but the quality's still really, really good. Sounds great, and, you know, you got a lot of classics, plus you got cool stuff like Mistral Wind, Dog and Butterfly, you know, Dreamboat Annie. They do a couple Zeppelin covers, you know, you got Black Dog and Battle of Evermore. Plus some of the 80s hits, it's a little bit of everything. And it's really, really good. And you got Mike Inez on bass, which is kind of cool. So anyway, Alive in Seattle, another quality release from Eagle Rock. And then this massive set from 2004. So Eagle Rock is kind of delivering some stuff from a decade or more ago. This is The Who, live at the Isle of Wight, 2004. Okay, it's Blu-ray and dual CD, so you got the whole show on audio and video here. It's quite nice. You know, here we got The Who playing in front of a huge crowd. Not quite the big crowd that they played at in front of in, was it 1970? Their iconic Isle of Wight festival appearance back then, when they did the whole Tommy album and all the, you know, classics up until that point. But this is quite good. Again, they do all the memorable songs that you can think of. And in fact, there's, what, 23 of them? So it's pretty cool. Everything's on here. Great performances. You know, you got, this is about a year and a half, 2 years after John Entwistle died. So, you know, you got Pino Palladino on bass, Zach Starkey on drums, Brundrick on keyboards, and of course Mr. Daltrey and Mr. Townsend. They're in fine form. I dig it a lot. Isle of Wight. So, with our last feature of this episode, and always our last one of these shows, is our Forgotten Favorites. Here we generally take a look back in time to the far past, or maybe even something more recent. These are albums that are near and dear to me that maybe never got their due, or just fell under the radar, or maybe just were completely underground and nobody knows about. I do. Here is a album from a band from Colorado called Alpha Centauri. This was their debut. All right, and again, one of those obscure bands, never really did anything, but it's a shame because, you know, the album is great. They toured with a lot of really cool bands at the time, like Styx and Uriah Heep, and a lot of those Journey, and a lot of those types of bands. They played all over the U.S., and their sound is kind of very indicative of that. You know, when I listen to Alpha Centauri, it's kind of like this hard rock with bits of prog and pop, lots of pop, good vocal harmonies, a lot of keyboards, a lot of great guitar work, driving anthemic songs. They remind me most of Styx, a little bit of early Journey at times, a little bit of maybe say like Boston. Okay, just really, really good, strong album. It's a shame that, you know, the band never really went anywhere. So if you've never heard of Alpha Centauri and you can find this, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Good, memorable hard rock album. It's a prog, you know. So go check it out. With that, I will leave you. Till next time, we've got an episode of our rant series coming up. I'm going to have a special guest sit with me. We are going to talk about, it's going to be basically an Iron Maiden themed episode. We're going to talk about why Iron Maiden albums released post Seventh Son of a Seventh Son are still really good, and why. And we're going to talk about why so many people complain about Iron Maiden set lists when they go out and do these tours, because it's a controversial topic, and my guest and I both have very strong opinions on the matter, so we're going to get into that over the next couple days. So till then, be safe, take care, make sure you check out all this great new music. Don't miss that Styx album. Don't. Trust me. And we'll see you next time. Till then, have a good one. Bye-bye.